about exceptions in Java. So exceptions are common problems that we face in real world scenarios. For example, we too face the exceptions. So if we are going from home to school or college or office, you would face a number of problems. If suppose that's a rainy season, then rain would cause some problems. And if you are traveling by bike, then bike could cause some problems. Either tire would be flattened like that. So problems are very common in our day-to-day life. Similarly, exceptions are very common in programming language. So exceptions are called problems which occurs during the execution of a program. So these are the three reasons for exceptions, three common reasons for exceptions: invalid data, file not found, out of memory. So these are the very common reasons for exceptions. For example, if you are trying to fill the some form, in the phone number field, if you are entering the email address, then that's called invalid data. That's one kind of exception reason. And another one is file not found exception. File not found means if you are trying to read a file or write a file, but the file actually doesn't exist, then that would cause some file not found exceptions. And out of memory. Out of memory means if you are running a program, that program needs some amount of memory, but that amount of memory it's not allocated to JVM, then that would cause out of memory exceptions. So these are the three common reasons for exceptions. There are n number of reasons. These are the three most commonly caused reasons. And then there are three types of exceptions. The first one is checked exception, second unchecked exceptions, and third one is errors. Checked exception means compile time exceptions, so which is pre-known. For example, if you're writing some fragment of code, the compiler tells that this fragment of code would cause some exceptions, so you should handle that exception in a better manner. That is called compile time exceptions. So we can relate this with a real-time scenario. For example, if you are going from home to your college or office, if it's a rainy season, then you know that you should take umbrella or raincoat for managing if rain has come. So here we are trying to overcome that exception, which is called compiled exception. We know before the exception actually occurs, so that is called compile time exception, checked by the compiler at compile time. So if your fragment of code has some problems, then compiler will tell that this fragment of code would cause some problems, so please try to handle those problems like that. And then second one is unchecked exceptions. Unchecked exception means runtime exceptions. So here this is very opposite to this, is very different from compile time exceptions. You don't know before the problem occurs, which is called runtime exceptions, so which occurs at only during the runtime. So for example, if you are going from home to office by bike, if your bike tire has got punctured, then it is called runtime exception, runtime problem. You will handle that problem by using some alternative ways. That is called runtime exception. Similarly, in programming language, especially in Java, runtime exceptions are very common. For example, if you have created the array size called 3, and if you're trying to add the element at the 5th index, then it would cause the array index out of bound exception. So this is the second type of exception. And the third type is errors. So these are the problems beyond the control of the programmers. So for example, stack overflow is one of those problems. We will try to analyze more about exceptions in the upcoming videos. Thanks for now.